and a round chewing gumball came onto the floor. Jamie had choked on one of the gumballs on the SpongeBob ice cream, and for that reason, the father of two called for manufacturers to make urgent changes to the ice cream. Welcome to the archive. Marcus here, and on June 1st, 2023, the world changed forever. The iconic original SpongeBob Ice Pop by the Popsicle brand was castrated of his gumball eyes, and it threw the entire nation, no, the entire world, into an uproar. It made major headline news, had countless articles online written about it, YouTube videos, Twitter threads, you name it, everyone was talking about it. But during this time, we never got an official statement by the Popsicle Company or Unilever, the parent company, as to why they made this decision. Why did they change the iconic gumballs to these chocolate chip things that are in his eye sockets today? Being that the gumballs were there for over 20 years, I needed to know why all of a sudden would they make that change. And I believe that today I have the official, or as close as it can get to the official answer as to why. And the answer to this is really simple, honestly, but what led the company to this decision ultimately is a lot darker. It's a story that involves lawsuits, parental outrage, and actually even death. So the obvious answer as to why they changed it, I'm going to get out the way, but I think there's a lot more that led to that decision, being that, again, it was like that for 20 years. But one reason is it was a choking hazard to kids. I'm going to have some more evidence and even some instances to where this was the case. So there's a lot more to this, but just to get the easy answer at the start, one easy indicator to know that was part of the decision was the fact that if you look at the original SpongeBob Ice Pop here, I'm fortunate enough to have this in the archive, being that this whole story is really close to my heart as a SpongeBob collector. If you look at the original Ice Pop, you'll see it says naturally and artificially flavored fruit convention. Then right below that, it says contains gumballs, a potential choking hazard for children's ages 3 and under. Gumballs may contain soy. And I also have the last wrapper they ever made with the gumballs, and I have the first wrapper that they released, changing it to the chocolate eyes. And you'll notice that on the chocolate eyes version of it, they've removed that warning. So that warning has completely been stripped from the wrapper, giving this this new chocolate eye one a completely open market as to who can actually pick it up. You can see the new one to all ages without having any choking risk. But being that it was there for 20 years, was it really a choking risk? Like, was it really that serious, or did they change it for other reasons? One reason I can tell you without a doubt was not to please the online community. If you currently go to the Popsicle website, I'm a frequenter of the SpongeBob Popsicle website. If you go to the Popsicle website, look at the reviews, it has sent people into absolute savagery.
Welcome to the apocalypse, Mr. Squidward. I hope you like leather.
If I scan through them, you can see 1-star after 1-star review all over the website. Putting chocolate eyes on this popsicle was a very dumb move. Do you know how to mix flavors together, or did you eat lead paint chips as a child? I don't prefer lead. I actually like barbecue paint chips. It's usually my go-to. Look how they massacred my boy. Chocolate and fruit punch is disgusting. Y'all shrunk them to half the size at the same price. Greedy. You ruined SpongeBob by the Ice Cream King. And I mean, you can see some really upset customers. Like, truly, I'm talking straight up novel some customers wrote, like really maximizing that character limit as to how they felt about it. One of my personal favorite is this one. The reformulation is absolutely heartbreaking and unpleasant. The gumball eyes were without question the best part. My childhood was going to the ice cream truck and ordering a delicious SpongeBob classic that tasted full of flavor with fun and yummy gumball eyes. Now, for nostalgic purposes, I wanted to buy some, so I did, and I opened it and was absolutely horrified. What did this god-awful company do to ruin the best popsicle ever made? I ask you. They put disgusting, shameful chocolate smears for new eyes and completely different taste. I'm so sad this is the fate of this beloved iconic treat, and will not only boycott them forever until reversed, but will spread the word, the gospel, to everyone I know not to buy them. ever again. Just like I said, a lot of people are really upset about it. And honestly, I can't say that I blame them. It upsets me a little bit too. Like, it was a huge staple of my childhood as well. I mean, I own the original freaking wrapper here for a reason. I love it. And it reaches to many different generations. If you think about the Ice Pop, the character Ice Pop with Gumball eyes, SpongeBob wasn't the first to do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's the last. Even in its inception, the original one, the Pink Panther Ice Pop with the Gumball eyes, he was the first. He was number one. That eventually faded away. We've had so many characters that have gotten the Gumball eye treatment. Optometrist, add that to your menu. So many of those characters have faded into obscurity or what feels like a weird fever dream. Like some of these characters, I feel like I had them, and I want to say I did have them. And I would be offended if you told me I didn't, but I probably didn't. Like I can remember them, but probably didn't have them. Even Pokemon, like all of them have faded, but one has stayed strong through all of it, and that is SpongeBob. For all these years, there's no wonder there's so many fond memories from kids, teenagers, adults, older adults with the SpongeBob Ice Pop, being that it's been there for so long. Many generations have had the opportunity to grow up with it. So I don't blame people for being upset, and I can understand them asking why. I mean, why, like, even besides the choking aspect, why change it when it's even had a resurgence recently with TikTok, people trying to get their perfect SpongeBob Ice Pop, memes about how ugly the Gumball eyes would look in certain circumstances, toys, products made after it that I've collected, made by Nickelodeon. Heck, I even had a meme on my channel about the SpongeBob Ice Pop.
Was, wow, a bad looking popsicle. You know you're not going to be able to have.
So it seems like it was bigger than ever, and then boom, they change it. But I think that there was some things that happened that I'll talk about that maybe kind of forced their hand into making this decision as well. But the main reason is, well, Mr. Krabs can take it away from me first here.
Money!
Well, yeah, of course. What did you think? But the second is they don't care about you, okay? They don't care about you. They don't care about me either, you know? It's just the reality of it. Unilever did a study, the company that makes the SpongeBob Ice Pop, Unilever did a study, and they found that kids eat 5 times more ice cream and frozen treats than adults do. And the SpongeBob Ice Pop being a character treat, their primary demographic that they're hunting for is kids. They don't care about me. They don't care about childless, adults in their cartoon bunkers like me complaining and being upset about it, because it does upset me. It really is messed up, and I wish they didn't change it. So mostly what they're aiming for is kids and their parents who are buying it. And if you look at the comments on their website, those are not kids. Like, I don't think there's any 3-year-olds going on there complaining about like, oh, where's my stale, cold Gumball gum. I don't think that they're the ones upset about it. And actually, like, when you try to leave a review, you have to put your birthday in, so like you have to be older than 18 to even leave a review. So those are assuredly all adults there. And being that, again, kids eat 5 times more ice cream and treats and frozen treats than adults do, that means people like me are like maybe a 10th of their market in reality. My couple SpongeBob Pops a month are a drop in the bucket of how many they sell to kids on average. So if every adult in the world stopped eating and boycotted the SpongeBob Ice Pop because of the SpongeBob Balls epidemic of 2023, it really probably wouldn't have that big of a dip in their sales overall. But with the helicopter parents of the millennial generation and Gen Z, like, they notice these things. Like, they notice that there's a choking hazard there, and they'd rather just probably steer clear of that. So changing the Ice Pop to no longer being a choking hazard, not if it does dip the sales a little bit in the adult market, opens up their market even more to their primary demographic. Now, no longer do you have to be 3 years or older to maybe even try the Ice Pop, but you could be a baby. Like, you could just be born and eating a SpongeBob Ice Pop if you want to now, and that would make up for that lost market. So a baby gets born, boom. I've never had a kid, so I imagine it starts with like a big boom, but boom, the kid comes out, you say, hey, welcome to the world. I think I don't know, they talk to him probably. Welcome to the world. It's a crazy place. We got global warming happening, crazy political climate, wars. We did all this, but Here is your complimentary SpongeBob Ice Pop. And then I imagine the baby would say, what the hell? Where's the Gumball eyes, man? But now that creates brand loyalty, you know, straight out of Ray Kroc's book. If kids can't even remember a point in time where they didn't have a SpongeBob Ice Pop, of course they're going to eat it forever. But for me, after breaking all this down and kind of realizing that, of course, the company did it for
Money!
I needed to know, did anybody ever choke? Was there ever a situation where anybody ever choked because of the SpongeBob Ice Pop that maybe also kind of, you know, pushed them in that direction? And going down that rabbit hole actually did take kind of a dark turn. So I'm not going to be making as many jokes and laughing as much right now because this is a little bit more serious. And I think definitely had something to do in conjunction with everything to them making that change. So the first and most related case is this one. And again, this is just one that was actually reported. There's no doubt that these happened and maybe people didn't call the news or, you know, alert anybody. They just happened and people, you know, went on with their life. In Australia, there was 2 children that were eating the SpongeBob caramel and chocolate flavored ice cream with gumball eyes by the Peters company. Not the same one made by the Popsicle company, but both of them do contain the gumball eyes. This situation went down. A father of 2 has called for the manufacturers to make urgent changes to the ice cream. Andy, the father, and his wife decided to treat their kids to ice cream after their daughter Mia's swimming carnival last year. The 9-year-old girl had won several ribbons in the races she had just competed in, and they decided to celebrate. Both Mia and her 4-year-old brother Jamie chose a SpongeBob SquarePants ice cream, and they began to eat it. We were all sitting down talking about the day and how well Mia had done. I was talking to Mia for no longer than 15 seconds when I turned to Jamie, and he was looking very distressed. Andy explained, "At first, I thought he wanted to vomit, but then I realized he couldn't talk or scream. He was so silent that his eyes were getting open and swollen." The father of 2 quickly realized his little boy was choking. I got him up straight away and tilted him forward and hit him in the middle of his back between his shoulder blades, and a round chewing gumball came onto the floor. Jamie had choked on one of the gumballs on this SpongeBob ice cream. And for that reason, the father of 2 called for manufacturers to make urgent changes to the ice cream. The father of 2 said if we weren't there, he wouldn't have made it. The ice cream had 2 gumballs that represent SpongeBob's eyes, and one had become firmly lodged in Jamie's throat. Andy can't bear to think about what could have been if he and his wife hadn't been there at the time. The father said, "I'm not seeking compensation. I want them to make the gumballs bigger and softer so that kids can't get it lodged in their throats. SpongeBob is a character that appeals to kids. It's the first time that Jamie has ever choked on anything." And I think that's a big part of it, is that being that SpongeBob, I mean, look at the wrapping paper for this. It's like, they're very alluring to a kid. You know, you could have a situation where even without parent supervision, if a kid finds that in their freezer, they're probably going to think, oh, this is for me. They're not going to think of something that they should be restricted on, being that it has a character that they watch on it. So that was just the most related story, being that it directly connects with the SpongeBob brand. And of course, that is a different company from the Popsicle company, but I'm sure hearing a story like that and that kind of story being out there definitely didn't look good for the SpongeBob frozen treat market as a whole. So of course that was the most related case, but we have another one here where a mother saves her child that was choked on a gumball 24 hours after she had learned first aid skills. Her son Caden was playing with their cousin and he accidentally swallowed a gumball at the bottom of a screwball ice cream, which is actually made by the Popsicle company. The mom said, "I grabbed him so quickly he didn't even have a chance to drop the toy he was holding. I delivered 5 back blows between his shoulder blades and dislodged the gumball, which shot out of Caden's mouth." A very similar story to the one that I just read, and both situations were involving ice creams that had gumballs in them. And in both cases, thankfully, you know, the kids did live. I chose to avoid some of the ones that ended up with worse circumstances. And choking is just a big hazard in general when it comes to kids. Last year, over 12,000 different kids in the US alone went to the emergency room due to choking. And it's estimated that on average, every 5 days, a kid dies from choking on something in their food. And since around then, the screwball has been discontinued, so that did lead to a change. It's very hard to find them, if at all, anymore. But those cases alone are not big enough to make any changes for a company, unfortunately. Companies will continue to do stuff no matter what, unless it hurts them. Again, at the end of the day, when it comes to big business, it's all about
Money!
Mr. Krabs is coming very in handy today, but it's only a matter of time. Just last year, a family in Jacksonville, Tennessee was awarded $8 million in a lawsuit against their daycare because their son had died choking on an apple slice while he was there. And $8 million, something like that, that's how big these lawsuits can get, is definitely enough to maybe make companies start thinking about how they're making their food products. And of course, no consequence of any millions of dollars can ever amount or can make up for the loss of a child's life or fix the pain of a parent losing their child. And thinking about how painful that could be for the people and the families involved, I think as much as it hurts my childhood and as much as I'm gonna miss the SpongeBob with the gumball eyes, I think I can accept it. And I'm happy that the SpongeBob Ice Pop is still around. Like I said, with the Screwball, that was completely just discontinued. I don't even believe you can find that anywhere. Definitely can't find them around here. I'm glad that they were able to just remove the gumballs and change it up to where we can at least enjoy it and have it in some way. But learning all this has opened up my eyes to a whole different perspective rather than just seeing it from my nostalgic point of view and wanting what I want. And I'm honestly even glad they changed it if it's going to help keep somebody else safe and keep anybody from dealing with that kind of pain. Okay, but let's end this here on a positive note, okay? You know, I don't want to be all negative here at the end, okay? You heard what I had to say. You learned what you had to learn. We went through it together. But you think you love SpongeBob Ice Pops? I think I love SpongeBob Ice Pops, but none of us love Ice Pops as much as this kid right here. While doing this research, I found this story of a 4-year-old boy who spent $2,600 on SpongeBob Popsicles from Amazon. This absolute gangster literally took his mom's credit card information on her Amazon account and ordered 900 SpongeBob Popsicles.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Look at him, dude. He is a legend. Okay, now that's the type of SpongeBob story I want to end this on here, okay? And by the way, the mom got like a GoFundMe going, so she made her money back, and you know, everything was okay because Amazon wasn't giving her a refund on all those SpongeBob Ice Pops. She got paid back, and the kid got 900 SpongeBob Ice Pops to smack on. So on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you guys learned some stuff with me today, and maybe you know, change your perspective a little bit on the SpongeBob Ice Pop epidemic. Again, your opinion is your opinion. However you feel at the end of the day is however you feel. But I did want to show you guys maybe what I would say is fairly likely the reasons why they changed the SpongeBob Ice Pop after 20 years of them being the gumball eyes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here. If you guys want to hear me talk about more SpongeBob, Nickelodeon, and cartoon collecting and memorabilia lore, then subscribe to the show. I definitely recommend it. Go check out our Patreon. You can sign up for only $2 a month, and it helps support the show immensely. And there's a bunch of bonus perks that you get when you sign up, like extended versions of videos, early releases, and you get invited to our Discord where you can come hang out with a bunch of other collectors and people that are into these nostalgic topics as much as you. We're also on Whatnot, where I do live streams every single Friday. I do auctions of a bunch of nostalgic products, as well as do giveaways, so you can take a look at that in the description too. Everything you need is down below. Hopefully I'll see you guys there, but most importantly, thank you so much for watching this video,